Hello, everybody, and welcome back to GV Talk Sports. I'm Brock Elsesser, and I'm here with
Riley McKnight,
Mr. Dutt,
and Mr. Horton.
Well, lots of interesting things going on. Let's start with Russell Westbrook. Came up on the announcements this morning.
It was.
Interesting situation.
Yeah.
He Want to explain what happened there, Brock, in a little more detail?
He got into a bit of an altercation with a so-called fan at a Utah Jazz game, where the fan said some pretty explicit stuff to Westbrook, and Westbrook claimed that his statements were racist and stuff, and were offensive to him and Westbrook's family. Mm-hmm. And Westbrook wasn't gonna just let that slide, so they had a little bit talking back about it, and made quite the situation and went viral on social media everywhere.
Right. So the guy sitting just behind the end of the bench, between about the same distance I am to you.
Yeah.
Just hollering things.
Yeah.
And they were pretty racially charged, and they were pretty bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So does Westbrook have to just sit and take it?
No. People make the misconception that athletes aren't regular human beings. People, you can't just go to an athlete, you can say anything you want to them. You can't shove a camera into their face and start screaming explicit things at their face. It's just
Well, I'm gonna take the other side. I completely agree with you, but just for kicks. I paid $500 to sit in this seat.
Yeah.
I can say anything I want.
You didn't pay $500 to say racial things to an NBA player. You can say NBA players signed up for the media attention, but NBA players don't sign up to be racially discriminated.
I agree, and Westbrook was pretty in his, explanation. He said, "Listen, I've been in the league 11 years. I haven't done anything.
Right.
Yeah.
I haven't been in trouble.
Right.
I don't do anything to anybody."
Yeah.
Right. A true statement. And so where's the line? What are they allowed to say? What are fans allowed to say? I completely agree with you that there's nobody signs up to be verbally harassed or abused.
Yeah.
That just is.
right?
I feel like
It's unacceptable.
I feel like any fan has the right to analyze and criticize the player's game or how they work with their teammates, but there's a certain point where you can't. There's stuff that you can't say to a player.
Well, it should stick mostly to the game. And the
that's
performance,
when it comes towards talking about their family or talking about their skin color, or,
Well, what if this guy had been sitting up in the cheap seat saying the same thing?
Right. He's sitting up in the cheap seats. We have no idea.
We have no idea that he's saying it, and I think that happens, right?
I've been in the
Sure,
cheap seats.
yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens.
Yeah.
The point here is that he was 3 feet away from him.
Yeah.
Right.
It was basically, he did everything but confront him face to face. Well, and Westbrook did turn around.
Right. Westbrook turned around and says something to him.
Yeah.
So now, again, I wonder where the line is, because now you have the story coming out of New York where the owner is walking out to his car, and a group of young people say something like, "Sell the team." And that fan has now been banned from Madison Square Garden for life because he told the owner to sell the team. There was no vulgarity.
Yeah.
There was nothing said about his family. Nothing said about other than I'm a fan of a team that's lost 50 games in a row for 5 years in a row, or 50 games in the season 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I said, sell the team.
No, that's ridiculous for the fan getting banned. He didn't cross the line.
I think his ego was just a little hurt.
That's what happens, right? When you're an owner, your ego gets bruised. You act in the heat of the moment.
Okay, so that coach is overreacting, or that owner is overreacting.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So then the question is, where's the line? What can I say as a fan?
I think, like Brock said, I think the criticism should be strictly about the game and the performance, not.
So that's not personal to say sell the team?
No. That's based on his performance and the team's performance throughout the season.
It's not like
it's not racial. It's not.
No.
Yeah, it's not like
it has nothing to do with his family or whatever.
So if I would have been sitting behind Westbrook and said something like, "You're a bum, okay? You're a hack, and you can't shoot."
Yeah, that's fine. It might not be a nice thing to say.
I'm gonna bet that he probably wouldn't have turned around.
Yeah, because I'm sure they hear it all the time.
Exactly, they probably hear that constantly.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm just waiting for the next Knicks game when there's going to be a huge chant going on that says "Sell the team."
Yeah.
Sell the team. Right, because
is everyone getting canned?
It's New York. It's New York. And is he going to kick every single one of them out of
Yeah,
the garden?
exactly.
Yeah.
They were talking about on the radio this morning saying, okay, can he not go see Billy Joel? Right? If Billy Joel's playing at the Garden, is he not allowed in?
Right.
Because he told the owner to sell the team because he's...
And really, how do they know? Do they have like facial recognition or something?
I don't know. They do at casinos, right?
They do, right?
So maybe... but a tough time for New York, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Giants just traded
OBJ.
OBJ.
Saquon's just kind of probably a little hurt. He looked up to OBJ like he was his
Absolutely.
mentor.
Absolutely. And they kept Eli Manning.
Yep. Yeah. Man.
But New York did get Le'Veon Bell for less money than the Pittsburgh would have given him last year.
It's crazy. This whole maneuvering here is crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's football season.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
Anybody been following? Well, we'll get back to Odell Beckham. I mean,
Yeah.
now everybody's a Browns fan.
I know.
They could be legit.
I know. They
actually
really could be.
Baker Mayfield, he's not bad.
No, he's not.
He's pretty
He
good.
did well last year with Landry, and so now you got Landry and
Odell.
OBJ.
I think the reason Odell came is because of Landry's.
Okay.
You think? I mean,
Yeah.
Nothing. No offense to Cleveland, all right. I feel like every time I say that,
Sorry, Michael Hunnish.
I'm obviously gonna offend Cleveland. But you've went from an A market to a B market, right?
In terms of
people, exposure,
right? Exactly.
Right,
The size, market share, etc.
Yeah, I mean A market to B market, but maybe he's thinking he can make Cleveland the.
Well, but did he have anything to do with it, or is it they're trying to just unload and rebuild from the bottom? Like, are we looking at a tank here? Are the Giants saying we're going to go last and try to get the best quarterback coming out next year?
Maybe.
Could be,
Didn't they just? They're offered Manning a huge, contract, didn't they?
I don't know.
I
I
think
don't know
they'd
what.
be stupid to do that, but
I mean, they played a clip on the radio this morning of or last night of Gettleman, is that his name, the GM for the Giants, when they said, "So did you sign him and now you're going to trade him?" And he laughed and said, "We didn't sign him to trade him."
yeah.
But actually, they just did.
yeah.
So, I don't know.
Interesting. Anybody been following what the Bills been doing?
Yeah, I saw them pick up a couple wide receivers and offensive line.
No names though. Well, I don't know.
I mean, Cole Beasley and John Brown, those are two decent wide receivers.
Yeah.
Beasley's okay.
Yeah. I mean, Beasley, there was just an article the other day about how they should have thrown to Beasley instead of Bryant for the last 3 years over in Dallas.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, we had one okay, like maybe one okay and one like semi-okay wide receivers on the entire team, and Josh Allen seemed to he had no choice but to work with them. And if we can get some other assets on the team, we don't need amazing wide receivers. I would think we just need wide receivers that can catch the ball.
Right. Right. Well, and they're definitely making a shift in the type of wide receiver. Right. They had Kelvin Benjamin there, a big guy that could, fight supposedly in the middle.
We're going towards the smaller, quicker,
and fast.
Yeah.
Brown can fly.
Yeah.
And Beasley's more of a slot guy. That Andre Reed, no fear
Edelman.
across the middle, Edelman kind of guy.
Right. Yeah.
That's what the Bills need.
So if you put Foster
guy.
on one side and Brown on the other,
Yeah.
dang.
I think Zay Jones is coming along too.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that his senior year he had the most catches in college football.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Down at East Carolina. Just you're mysteriously quiet there, Brock. Everything all right?
Yeah.
What
Looking
was
at
this? Not to jump back we'll jump back and forth a little bit, but wasn't there was a fight night before last in the NBA? What was that all about?
Oh, with the Raptors?
With Serge Ibaka and Marquise Chris. Yeah.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah.
He went after his throat.
NBA
It was
expert.
ridiculous.
What happened?
Well, both of them have gotten into fights before, but this one was certainly more of Serge Ibaka who took charge. He thought that he got fouled hard by Marquise Chris, even though Ibaka clearly flopped. And so Chris kind of looked at him a little weird, but he didn't say anything. And Ibaka got up and went ham, started choking him. And
He did?
Really?
He went after his throat and tried
There
choking
was
him.
the legit throat punch attempt going on there.
Good
I don't know
night.
if but he did. He went right after him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you wonder what was going on during the game that happened, or do you think?
I mean,
wow, that's
it's just Ibaka probably thought he got fouled, even though it looked like a really weak foul.
Right.
Yeah. And
There's a certain amount of fighting in baseball, and I mean, if baseball were hockey, right? No.
I don't know where you're going with that.
No, a certain amount of fighting. Do you think the fans like that a little bit?
Yeah.
definitely. Like the fight between Ibaka and Marquise Chris, like they're both decently known players, but they're no superstars. But the fight got like 5 million views in like a day on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think the fight with the Red Sox and Yankees this year kind of charged things back up and made this series more exciting again. And I mean, those were like the two best teams in the East Coast and arguably baseball. And
Well, and as a fan, that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
We want
Yeah.
the tension between the two teams.
And you could tell it was there after every series. After that, you knew it was there, and it
Yeah.
made it just every like.
And
Yeah, it was exciting.
even though the refs don't allow fighting like that, I think you can tell that the owners really do want the players to fight because it creates that tension, and the fan interest increases to another level. It really just makes things more interesting.
So it's all staged.
I
I'm just kidding. I said that
I
just for
wouldn't
you.
say
Just
that.
for me.
Yeah,
and
it's
you know
interesting.
what?
I think they want the tension.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody wants the fight because Ibaka goes in there and throws a haymaker.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want
and
anybody to
breaks
get seriously
Chris's
hurt,
jaw.
yeah.
All right, nobody
Yeah.
really wants that to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I sometimes like baseball fights because it's a lot of just melon and mushing and
Pushing
sometimes
each other.
it's crazy to get really angry and they go in there with a swinging, but a lot of times it's a lot of fronting and pushing and stuff. Yeah, I think they like the tension. But I'm
Yeah.
not sure anybody wants that fight where somebody could possibly get hurt.
yeah.
Even though I think it's funny because even though Ibaka was throwing punches, it seemed like he really didn't want to hit him because he missed a couple of them pretty bad. Like it was.
I know.
The swing that
Yeah.
doesn't even come
They,
close.
they start swinging like when they're about to start getting pulled away.
If he wasn't pulling me away, man,
That's right, I'd
rip
come
your
get
head
you.
off. Don't hold me back.
Yeah.
Interesting. Jeff Van Gundy said something interesting in the NBA a couple days ago. Brock and I were talking about it in the
Yeah.
hall the other day. He just offered the idea that the Lakers need to pretty much rebuild that whole thing. I mean, they're a mess right now,
Yeah.
right? His thought was rebuild the whole thing. He said, maybe this summer you shop LeBron.
Yeah.
What could you get for LeBron?
And you can make the argument that trading LeBron gives you a lot of value with certain players.
I
and
think the
you could get a
quote
lot
was you
for
could get the
LeBron.
entire Clippers team.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But when you think about it, the Lakers, when you look
That was
more in
just-
depth to it, the Lakers right now have room for 2 more max contracts. And the reason why they're not in the playoffs this year is because of injuries. Their 3 best players have only played 21 games together, and in those 21 games, they're 15-6, which is a really good record, which would definitely put them in the playoffs if it was
Right.
extended to 82 games. of
Right,
course.
but everybody's has injuries.
But the Lakers have gotten a lot more injuries
Okay,
than other
all right.
teams.
Okay.
Like if you
I agree with you,
Yeah.
and we can use that as the whole statistics can make you say anything, but at the same time, there's dysfunction there too.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
especially with the AD situation.
Right.
And
Well,
all the players felt like they're going to get traded and didn't even want to put in the effort anymore.
And I mean, I'm just going to say this out loud again. We talked about this. Are we seeing the demise of LeBron? I mean, if we're talking about trading LeBron, he's been with the Lakers 2 years now, right?
This is
And now,
first year.
This is
is he
his
going to
first
wind
year.
up with the Clippers now? Where does he want to end his career?
Well, I think he wants to stay in LA. I think he's
Is
diversified.
he losing his mystique? Like pretty much when he was in Cleveland, he could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
I think his
Fire the
biggest,
coach. Okay, LeBron. Anything else?
Yeah.
I think LeBron's biggest flaw of this season is he doesn't have that drive to play anymore. He's not putting in the effort on defense. And
No.
It's clear when you watch the games. It's like he doesn't want to play almost.
Well, when his teammate pushes him to play
Yeah.
defense. I mean, it's like I think he had that respect in Cleveland, though, because he actually got things done. And after that whole
Yeah.
Anthony Davis trade and absolutely nothing came from it, everyone's like, you're not doing what you're saying. Why are you
Yeah.
trying to tell us what to do, you know? And it's like,
who are you?
yeah, who are you to tell us what to do when you've done nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're. I hate to jump back and forth, but Odell Beckham, he's still the real deal, right? I mean, he's not like on the downhill side. I mean, his New York last couple years in New York were.
Well, he got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
messes
he's still pretty young, though. He's like, what, 26?
I was going to say 26,
Is he
27
26?
years old.
I mean, let's talk about this. A career was made on one catch.
That one, well,
Yeah.
One catch. I mean, it's a pretty good catch.
I'd say it's more
A pretty
than
good
one.
catch?
Yeah. I'd say it's multiple catches.
Multiple like circus catches.
well, he's the
this
real
guy
deal.
makes.
The question is, will he come back to that level?
Well, because
After he got hurt.
one
I don't
catch,
know.
one touchdown, you need production out of people.
Right.
Right. At some point, you've got to we want you to catch 10 touchdown passes this year.
Right. Well, the Bills just picked up a tight end that caught 7 last year, so should be all right.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't
Get
know.
rid of Charles
What do you-
Clay.
Yep.
Yeah,
He's gone.
He's gone.
He didn't do much last year.
Odell, I think Odell's the real deal. It'll be interesting to watch Cleveland this year. I think they're going to put some points up on the board. I think they'll be fun.
I think it would be better if Cleveland. I have family that lives in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
They need a indoor stadium.
No.
Yeah, this is nobody wants to go there and watch games in snow and it just
And the dog pound would not be the same.
without dudes with masks on.
Exactly.
And heavy gloves and freezing
Exactly.
to death.
You need all that stuff.
Yeah. Same in Buffalo though. Be a different story if we had an indoor stadium too, right?
Well, then they
That would-
didn't
yeah,
they put out a
that'd be-
survey or something for people to talk about what they might want in a stadium and where they might want it and that kind of stuff. I mean, they could change the whole downtown Buffalo into, Pagulaville or something, because they have that whole harbor center now,
Yeah.
and Canal Side, and the stadium, the arena. Put a
This
football
is
stadium down there.
this is kind of not on the same subject, but kind of. Did you see that Frank Gore is going to sign with the Bills for a one-year
Yes.
contract?
Yes.
And
I thought he retired.
Frank Gore might be older than me.
Frank Gore's son, I think, is committed to UB.
Oh, really?
kidding.
Yeah.
So they're going to move to Buffalo.
I
Get a house in
There you
OP
go.
out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Clarence, maybe.
Amherst.
Amherst,
Yeah, nice. Golly.
Frank
But that
Gore
guy's
used to be legit.
Yeah,
He
well,
was real legit.
He was a tank.
well, he's number 4 all time.
Yeah.
He's number
Yeah.
4 in all time yardage.
Is he really?
Yeah. So, but as there was, somebody was saying the other day, does he have, a signature run, that you remember Frank Gore just, like Marshawn Lynch
That-
has that run
that
where he
Saints
just
run.
runs people
Yeah.
over. That you
Yeah,
just
he
have that
got the ball like in the 10. It was a 90
right,
yard
and
run or something.
and Barry Sanders has a couple of those, and Walter Payton has. And when you talk about Frank Gore, you're talking about 6 yards in a cloud of dust every time, but 7 million carries.
Yeah.
Just over and over. 15 years.
Yeah. That's really impressive for how consistent that is.
Yeah, for a position where the average career is about 7 days.
Yeah.
He's gone for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. That is incredible.
I was just pulling up. Do we a couple of things? We haven't talked at all about March Madness, and we won't be on this Friday, by the way. Sorry about that, boys. These guys are off school Friday.
Oh, that's right. But March Madness, I was hoping you brought that up. St. Mary's beat Gonzaga.
I saw that. Did you see that?
John-
I watched the
Jonathan-
whole
Wow.
game.
Oh,
and
did you?
John's
John-
not here.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
If only he was.
Oh, my
Gonzaga is the
goodness.
best team in the world. Sorry, John.
Gonzaga's good, but St. Mary's, they held him to 47 points.
That's ridiculous.
Gonzaga's
That's
average is about
absolutely
90.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
They held him to 40. It was amazing. It was one of the most complete defensive games I've ever
And
seen.
what's Gonzaga's record? They have like 3 losses.
This is their third.
Third. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
A couple months ago, Gonzaga beat St. Mary's by 40.
Yeah.
Wow. I want to know like what their.
And St. Mary's beat
I
them
want
by
to know the
13
changes
last
that the
night.
coach made.
Yeah. I saw this morning. I'm looking there and I'm going, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah,
That's why they make them play the game.
the transition defense was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like Gonzaga, I think, got maybe 6 points in transition. It was unbelievable to watch. And they had a big guy inside. I wish I could remember his name. Who he was a presence. He had maybe 12 points and 16 boards. Jordan Hunter, 12 points and 15 boards.
Wow.
He was just solid. Just did everything right.
That makes St. Mary's 22-11.
22 and 11, and they're getting
And they're
in.
getting in. They're dancing.
They're getting
Wow.
in. So what they said, though, you got to watch out, is that is a bubble breaker for people. Because you think your second place team in your conference is 22 and 11. Gonzaga's in. They win the conference tournament. Nobody else from the West Coast is going. But now you got 2 from the West Coast. You're guaranteed because Gonzaga's getting in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you have one less bubble spot for a team like
Syracuse.
Syracuse.
I immediately thought of Syracuse when that happened.
Syracuse got a big game tonight against Pitt. If Syracuse doesn't beat Pitt tonight, Syracuse might be in the NIT.
Yeah,
I know
they have to beat Pitt. They got to get to the quarters. If they don't get to the quarters, they're done.
That would make fans so mad.
Yeah,
I mean, and I think was it Brock that predicted Syracuse they're not bad when they play. They can play.
No, they're halfway decent.
Yeah, they're not.
But 12 losses. Jimmy V was going off last night. They did Jimmy V was doing the Gonzaga St. Mary's game, and he proposed something. It's Jimmy V, so nobody cares. But his proposal was that of the 36 at-large bids, right, in the tournament, you keep 8 of those for mid-majors.
Yeah.
You just keep 8 of those for mid-majors. So if somebody like Wofford gets beat in their conference tournament, okay, they're still getting in. Right. VCU, if they get beat in their conference tournament, they're still going to get in. UB gets beat in the conference. UB's going to make it.
Yeah,
I think UB's in regardless,
right?
Don't you?
And I think VCU is in. Now, St. Bonaventure playing great lately. They've won 8 out of their last 9.
Yeah.
They sneak up and win that A10 tournament.
Yeah.
They're in. Now what do you do with VCU? Okay, they're in. So now there's another bubble spot gone. So really just interesting stuff.
Yeah.
It's a cool time of year. Now, selection, it's Sunday, right?
This coming Sunday, right?
Sunday, right? This championship week.
Right. So you got, the Big Ten final, I think, is on Sunday afternoon, and then they do the selection,
after that.
Yeah, I love this week.
Yeah.
I could sit with my
Great week.
ESPN app and just flick through games and sit and watch.
Next week is, March
Next
Madness.
week is when it starts, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Awesome. Hey, I feel like we talked about it earlier. I feel like we should mention this Rick Singer scandal of people paying to get into college.
Yeah, I need some details.
We're a sports talk show. He would take money from wealthy people and guarantee them a spot in a college.
Who is this guy?
He just is
Just
kind
a
of a shyster that started a business and got a reputation of being able to get people into college. He's in California. And he paid people to take SATs for people. He bribed coaches, right? There's several coaches at Harvard, Yale, USC. And so that's the sports aspect of it. It's bad enough. I think paying to get people into college is not new. I think Riley said this earlier. Yeah. It's not new, right?
No.
And we said this before. Why would you need your kid to be on the rowing team? They've never rowed a day in their life.
But is that beyond college? Like you're thinking, all right, when I go to get a job, I now have USC or I have Yale or I have Harvard as my alma mater. And I have these extra things that I did, that I was on the rowing team.
Well, and maybe because when I think of rowers, I think of dedication,
right?
Strength,
hard work, etc.
Hard work, coordination. Right. I think of that.
Crew is hard.
Yeah, it's not
Holy
easy.
cow!
Yeah.
To actually be on that, my nephew's on it. He's,
I can remember
UMass Lowell.
Oh no kidding!
Shout out to Ruben out there, Ruben Duttweiler, UMass Lowell row. He's on the crew team, yeah, and he competes against all those teams, Harvard, Yale, etc.
And so, those guys are on the water at 6 a.m.
Dang.
And it's cold, right? I mean, the water splashing up on you is like frozen. Yeah,
right.
It's bad.
Right.
It's bad. So
they fly down too. Like they're moving.
Yeah, they are.
Have you ever watched the Olympics rowing?
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
so maybe we just answered the question.
I mean,
it's impressive to be on a row team. Then.
Yeah. But I guess from a standpoint, I mean, we're right. Connections have gotten people into colleges forever. Right? Mm-hmm. If you get
Dad donates $2.5 million for a new wing to the library,
you're getting in.
Yeah. Son is getting in.
Right.
Okay?
It doesn't
no
matter.
question about it.
Right. But even to a lesser degree, I've done this as an alum of Geneseo. I can call Geneseo and say, hey, can I get a waiver for this kid on their application fee?
I didn't know you went to Geneseo.
Yeah, I got my master's degree there.
Nice.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like people do that all the time. Mm-hmm. If your kid went to St. Bonaventure, they could probably, they look at it and they say, ooh, an alum, having their kid coming back. Mm-hmm. You can. So in some aspects, it's happened all the time, but this is just huge.
It is.
And I guess
because they're cheating.
The whole cheating on the SAT is a big deal too.
Would you think?
I can't believe they're getting away with it. How is it they're getting? Don't you have to take a picture ID
for
To the SAT?
I'm not. You didn't for the PSAT, but
Right,
I
but
don't
for
know.
the SAT, you got to walk in with
Picture ID.
the photo that matches who you are.
Fake ID.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe fake IDs. Well, you know, because kids taking the SAT, a lot of them maybe they don't have a driver's license or something like that. You know,
Sure.
it wouldn't be unusual. Here's my student ID.
Yeah, Derrick Rose, for example, he actually, like his college whole career got taken away from him because they found out that he had somebody else take his SAT for him.
Right, right. And Memphis had to vacate all those wins.
Yeah,
Would have been a nightmare had they won the national championship.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so just a little bit of news, not big. No,
Yeah.
Well, it is big, but I don't think anything new that we
Right.
didn't know.
But still.
So it makes even more impressive when folks earn it on their own merit.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes it even more impressive. If you're like, I mean, look at the stories in the NBA, and we could name one of people came from like humble backgrounds to,
Jimmy Butler, he was homeless.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler.
He hardly got time at Marquette, and he was just drafted for like just a guy to go hack some other guys on
Yeah.
the floor.
Yep.
Yeah, and he got drafted. Nobody expected him to do anything, and now look at where he is today.
Yeah.
Right.
He ended up being the most improved player. You know, he averaged like 23 points a game
Yeah.
last season. He'd be averaging more this year, but he's also playing with Joel Embiid, who's the best center in the league, undoubtedly, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That name's come up in the Yeah. No kidding.
I always like to use the word arguably the best center in the league, just so that
I'm going to say undoubtedly for Joel Embiid. I feel like it was debatable last year before DeMarcus Cousins was injured. And if you count Anthony Davis as a center, which I'd say his true position is a power forward,
Yeah,
then
I
I think
do
Anthony
too.
Davis is the best center.
Me too.
But I think AD is actually a power forward.
But doesn't
which
he play
makes Joel
center
Embiid-
for New Orleans?
On occasion, yeah.
Okay.
But for the majority of his career, he's been listed as a power forward.
Okay.
So I'm going to say with that Joel Embiid is the best center in the league, best true center in the league.
Sure.
Ding, 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 ding. 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
So we got to have some final thoughts here. I'll start. I'm gonna make my final thought about the NCAA tournament. I think Syracuse gets in. I think they're in. I think they beat Pitt. I think they get in. I don't know. I just have. Maybe it's because I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think Syracuse gets in the tournament. Not really high, but I think they get in the tournament and at least win a game or two.
I'm going to play off that. If they get in the tournament, I think they made at least the Sweet 16, maybe the 8.
Oh, no kidding.
Because that zone is so hard for people the first time they play against
And
it.
they're going to play people that haven't never seen it.
Exactly. If they play an ACC team, like if they get matched up with an ACC team, they might get beat. But if they
Right.
play somebody from the Big Ten or the Pac-12 or wherever, I think that's a tough matchup for anybody else.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to say that the Atlanta Hawks will get the number 1 NBA draft pick and draft Zion. And the hopes for the Knicks will be all gone.
Sell the team.
Sell the team.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that I think Syracuse is gonna get into. I feel like they always do,
I'm
no
gonna say the
matter
same,
what.
yeah.
Anyways, but
They're a big draw financially.
yeah, I
They
think
think it's
I think UB will make it farther than them in the tournament, though.
UB's going to go farther than Syracuse.
Yeah, and Gonzaga will not win the tournament like John predicted.
Sorry, John.
They're tough. They're tough. It'll be interesting to see. This might be good for Gonzaga.
Maybe.
All right, take us home, Brock. We go. Well, first, we want to thank the guys at WRAQ for putting us on the air. We appreciate it. All those loyal listeners we have out there.
Yeah, thank you for watching and tuning in to GV Talk Sports. I'm Brock Elsesser, and I'm here with
Riley McKnight.
Mr. Dutt.
Future Hall of Famer,
Money.
Mr. Horton. Have a good. We won't be on Friday, so
We will not be on Friday. See ya.
have a good week.